The heavy weight in my chest feeling always wakes me in the early hours, and it begins as a physical feeling, shaking me awake. It then drifts up to my brain like a bad aftertaste from a nightmare. It's at this time that I feel my mortality. I'm aware of how many children or teens are in the house, whether I'm alone, worried, scared, happy, satisfied. I read that we have 2 phases of sleep and that centuries ago we all accepted this, and we might get up, socialise, read a book or generally enjoy these early hours. However, now we expect a decent night's sleep, and we're perturbed when we lie awake for hours. Once I learnt this, I relax and enjoy my moments of quiet in the dark, a time to reflect and prepare. But this harsh, dark, sinking feeling isn't fun. It makes me fearful and unsure, and I believe that if I didn't have M to go and visit, I'd be lost in it forever. It's funny that I have times of feeling so wise, properly placed, perfectly happy, and yet other times I feel so lost, alone, and mortal.
Today I'm exhausted. I have the day off work and I'm exhausted because I am at work. I have to make such a supreme effort to hold it together and stay in control that when I stop I implode. I spend so much time at work feeling intensely irritated by colleagues, getting small things blown out of all proportion and finding it really hard to concentrate that it wears me out. I've never been someone who cries. In fact, I never cry. But I spent a whole day at work last week desperately trying not to collapse in tears while sorting out something really straightforward. The next day I couldn't believe that I'd got into such a state, as I felt normal again. I apologised to a colleague, so sorry about yesterday, I'm just menopausal. He just looked embarrassed. I forget things all the time, which bugs the hell out of me. I forget to take things with me. I take things with me and leave them behind. I forget to meet people and then forget who people are when I do meet them. I forget to do things. I forget where I've put things. I forget what I've done. I forget what I've said. To be honest, I've given up worrying about it. If I think about it too deeply, I'll convince myself I've got early onset dementia, and I refuse to go down that route. It's just the menopause, I tell myself, fingers crossed behind my back. Very unusually, someone at work this week was talking about their period. It's so long since I had a period, I've almost forgotten they exist. I can't remember, surprise, surprise, how long ago my menopause started. I think it was at least 8 years ago. 8 years! I just hope that sooner rather than later I'll come out the other side. I find this mythical new lease of life which people talk about. On Tuesday I said to my manager, I'm menopausal and exhausted. He looked slightly alarmed and said, well, we all get tired, it's that time of year. I tried again. I'm exhausted because I've been working for 35 years without a break. I just don't have the energy anymore, physical or emotional, and I'm menopausal. What could he say? What could he do? I felt a tad sorry for him. I'm one of the women born in the 1950s who are expected to continue working well into their mid-60s. 67 in my case. I can't do it. I won't do it.
A game of snakes and ladders, plodding wearily forward day by day, meeting the base of a ladder and climbing each rung, peering above the humdrum, feeling stronger, lighter, wiser. A few steps later, staring into the eyes of a serpent, losing my grip and sliding down its coils into the abyss. The abyss is deep, dark, and haunted by demons which turn me inside out, so that all can witness my hideousness. I go out of my way to avoid people. The landscape appears bleak and hostile. Then, back in the game, shaking off the blackness and finding a rhythm in my stride. Yes, I can be a fantastic mother, a cheerful wife, an adequate lover. I can keep my home tidy and go to the gym, wash my hair every other day, bake the occasional cake, do the food shopping, the washing, organise holidays, play dates, theatre trips, days out at the park, the beach, the woods. Up a ladder, up. Maybe I can be a Bishopston mum after all. Up the ladder.
September the 15th, a dissatisfaction. Nothing is as important as it used to be to me, except my family. I would really like to concentrate on the spiritual side of my life. There's a lot of stuff out there that's no longer relevant or important to me. But it's difficult clearing all that clutter, and as soon as it's cleared, it creeps back in again, and there I am once more surrounded by all that crap. If I was just allowed to do what I wanted, I would have to take off and live without it all, to find what's dear within me and my connections with this world. Time is going by so quickly, and really I'm getting nowhere and achieving very little. I so want to step off this wheel and find something more powerful and meaningful, but I just don't see how I can.
December 15th. The most embarrassing symptoms are the hot flushes and sweating. These are very embarrassing. For example, in the middle of my presentation at a conference, I became suddenly very hot while buckets of sweat rolled down my face and I peeled off clothing and furiously fanned to cool myself down. Most of the time, the flushes and sweats wake me at night. I fling off the bedclothes and beddings, and sometimes the sweat is so much that I have to change the bedding completely. This nightly fiasco disturbs my sleep, and I get up feeling drained and exhausted. Sometimes my body itches, and my eyes are very dry, and I wonder if I have an allergy. My GP reassured me that these symptoms are due to the menopause, and he prescribed some cream and drops. My midriff has ballooned from 26 inches to 38 inches. I was always lean and svelte, and now I have to change my wardrobe to accommodate my expanding tummy. I had a thick, beautiful shaped afro, but each morning fistfuls of hair are on my pillow. Ointments, potions, creams and oil of evening primrose makes no difference. The hair continues to shed. I have to wear a wig to cover the bald patches. These physical symptoms are combined with emotional ones as well. In fact, menopause is affecting my entire life. Sometimes I feel low, unmotivated, short-tempered and disinterested. This is all compounded by the children leaving home for further education and my retirement looming in the near distance. These are dark days for me. Monday. Woken up by the delivery of a huge old-fashioned oscillating fan, which I ordered from Amazon in the middle of the night sometime last week. Went to Cribs to try and buy one in John Lewis, but I wanted a noisy one on a stand that blows a gale, not a new age glowing one that looks like a musical instrument from a vintage Star Trek episode. The lady pitched the sales talk saying it was silent. It was a gently sighing donut of computer breath. No, I said, I want one that roars air. It's a comfort and a mind distractor. The white noise of a fan oscillating in the night reminds me of peaceful sleep in hot countries. My menopause is a very hot country. I wonder if my friends in the US still have hot flushes even though they have aircon. I must ask the hive mind of Facebook. I didn't get hot when I was camping in a field in Devon last August, but then it was cold, rainy, and the tent was hemmed in by the sea fret. Eyeing up the big box which my husband plonked at the end of my makeshift bed, I wonder if my scattered mind can get through assembling this fan without throwing a tantrum. Like clockwork, heat comes over me around midnight as I'm sitting in my bed writing about Patti Smith on Facebook. But the remote control to the fan is by my side. So long, hot flush monkey, the low setting is enough to blow that sensation away. I may need to wear a headscarf in bed like a lady in a 50s sports car. Note to self, do not wear floaty nightdress and do an Isadora Duncan.
It's Sunday morning, 8 o'clock. This is my favourite time of the day. All the boys in the house, my 2 sons and husband are asleep. I wake up much earlier than they do, and this is my precious time. Time when I am not demanded of in any way. Time I can get on with my own thing, be it work or writing or cooking stuff I want to cook. We work on a different timescale in our house. I am a morning person, while the boys are dead to the world. I want to talk and express, and they want to grunt and climb back into their virtual man caves. Being surrounded by males has given me a new perspective on life, especially coming from a predominantly female family. I think they are honest about what they want to do or not do. They don't go out of their way to please like women do, and ultimately grow to resent. So this male influence has started to rub off on me, as I learnt that the more I tried to please my teenage boys, the more they pushed me away. So with a little shove and resistance on my part initially, I have now found a really happy space for me. I go down to my gym, 5 minutes drive from my house, either at lunchtime, if I am working from home, or in the early evening. The draw for me is the outside heated swimming pool. If I am cold, I warm up my core temperature in the sauna before I plunge in. Or if I am hot and bothered, as women with teenagers often are, I plunge in to cool myself down, both physically and metaphorically. And then I get hot in the sauna afterwards, and I come away feeling 100% better than I went in, always.
August 15th. I'm feeling quite irritable today and I'm snapping at my daughter. I feel pretty guilty when I'm like this, as it goes against all the therapeutic parenting training that I've undertaken since the adoption. I must try harder. I will be glad to be home soon. This holiday has felt too long. We usually go for 2 or 3 weeks. This is the first time we've come away without my middle son, and it's the longest time I've ever gone without seeing him, and I've missed him, despite his often difficult behaviour. He moved acrimoniously out of our family home to go and live with his dad shortly before we came away. It's broken my heart, but I'm hoping to build a better relationship with him now that I don't have to be responsible for him and I'm always stuck in the middle of the horrible rows between him and my husband, his stepfather. My eldest son is looking after the house and cat. He's just finished uni and is now home to stay. It feels like I've lost one son and regained the other. February 15th. Been working hard on an installation about the refugee crisis. I feel so desperately sad about it all, and I wish I could do more to help. I have a child puppet that I made, and I've dressed her as a refugee. She will sit in a tent in the front garden with a backlit map of Europe on the windows, and that will be my installation for the Window Wonderland. Husband, daughter and I had a few days in Brecon at half-term in our motorhome. We've been there about 8 times in the last year for short breaks, and we find it very useful for bonding with our daughter. It's lucky to have that time with her in such a beautiful place with no distractions. Our lives are all so busy. It's so good to stop. We took my refugee with us to Brecon. Daughter and I spent hours caring for her and posing her for photos. We named her Wren. It seemed that Wren was a new member of the family. We walked halfway up a mountain. It snowed, and I imagined it as a flight from Afghanistan or Syria. We are so damn lucky.
Living with teen daughters has brought home to me that as their lives are blossoming and expanding, my horizons are narrowing. That's not meant as negatively as it might sound. I'm proud to watch them stretch their wings, experiment and navigate a world full of possibility for them. But I'm also very aware that as a premenopausal woman, I am becoming more invisible. I'm not talking about being whistled at in the street. I'm talking about having a voice that is heard, a body of which clothes were designed, wisdom which is appreciated. I envy my girls their voice, visibility, their brightness, their endless choices. I look at my mother and realise how young she was at my age and how old she feels now at 83. I think about ageing and how I want to do it. I feel like I'm going to be difficult to be with, uncompromising, vociferous, difficult, and wonder who will be around me to be irritated by me. Despite what may have sounded negative, I'm feeling positive as well. It's great to give less of a stuff about what others think of me, what I say, how I dress. I feel less judged as the positive side of the I feel invisible coin. I'm looking forward to having less day-to-day responsibility for others. I'm looking forward to buying a van and going off with my partner on a tour around Britain, which we've talked about for years, and reconnecting with old friends. I'm looking forward to not riding the vicissitudes of my hormones each month. Unimaginable to be free of it all. The monthly expectation, the growing irritability, spotty skin, sore boobs, the paraphernalia. At the same time, regular periods have been my barometer for emotional and physical well-being. Once my menopause is with me, I shall have to find a new one.